Aloha. So happy to be with you today to talk about softening our heart humps. Yeah. So most of us have a heart hump, especially now. You may have started this COVID time without one, but perhaps by now you have one. And I want to talk about heart humps first. So they're formed because we get into fear of some sort and or we're grieving. And what happens is as we grow in fear or we've lost somebody or something, we begin to close down around our heart. So our shoulders come up, they round forward, and we cave in here around our heart. Now, when I have that posture, you can see that I hump out the back of my body. Now, added to that, a lot of us will clamp our arms to the side of our body, trying to really hold it all together, hold it in, protect ourselves. And what that ends up looking like is this. Shoulders up, neck forced forward, and the hump coming out the back of the heart. Now, I'm teaching about this week in the Ageless Movement practices at agelessmovemore.com because I've had a lot of grief during this time, and I've had, I don't know, I guess it's fear. I've just been so astonished by people, by their reactions and actions and what they're willing to do to people right now. And so I feel like I'm not only grieving, but I'm protecting myself. And it doesn't feel very good. And I'm sure it doesn't feel good for you because I know I'm not the only one. And we will get through this time, but it's so important for us to keep our hearts wide open. So when I caught myself here, I decided I had to do a practice because I know that a lot of you will need this. So I have a whole practice up on agelessmovemore.com, but I wanted to give you one way to do this that's probably my favorite way of breaking up my heart hump. And if you have a noodle ball, go grab it. That's what we're going to use, 6 tennis balls and a knee-high sock. But if you don't, go grab a towel, just a regular bath towel, and roll it up until it's about the size. That's maybe like 2 inches. And that'll work as well. So if you need to go grab something, please do. Now, this way of working on your heart hump can feel intense, but sometimes that's what it takes. It's just, going in and beginning to break it open. And what we're breaking open to? Love. Yeah. And I used to think that love felt like really good, and that's when I was in love. But what I've realized over the years that love feels like vulnerability. And especially now, because the heart is a purely spiritual center. That means it's in the unknown. And so when we feel love, we feel vulnerable because we don't know. And the human part of us from our navel on down, loves to know. We're being pushed into a spiritual time, obviously, because who knows anything right now? If you know something, please tell me. Because even when I think I know something, world shifts and I don't know. And we've got to get good at letting go and grieving and continuing to open our heart and feeling vulnerable. And we're not alone in this. Let's help each other out. So hopefully you have your noodle ball or a rolled up towel, or swimming pool noodle works well too. So I'm just going to set it on my mat and I'm near a wall. And then I'm going to bring my bottom between the noodle ball and the wall and my hip into the wall. And then what I do is I pivot my hips and my legs come up the wall, and then I make sure my noodle ball is in my heart space, and or my towel, and And I just release on over. And I breathe. Now this can be really intense. You just breathe through it and stay as long as you can. So what's happening is I'm taking my arms overhead, so I'm pulling my arms away from the sides of my body, and I can feel that stretch because it's opposing me drawing my arms in toward the sides of my body. And then I can feel the back of my heart, that heart hump, really getting pushed into. And I can roll up or down too a little bit if I need to find a better spot after a moment. I really just allow my heart to be cracked open. And that's what it feels like. It feels like it's being cracked open. I keep breathing. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. I can also feel the front of my chest expanding. So that's my love coming back. And it's beautiful. It's so important and so beautiful. Sorry about that. To feel these places, to go in and move again if you need to. And if you need to move up and you're kind of stuck at the wall, just lift up and shift. It's so important to go in these spaces and break open the tension of fear and grief and continuously push against that desire to just close down and to protect and grow a bigger and bigger heart hump. Now, we all know people who have heart humps, right? Well, in my opinion, we all have one to some degree. And the more that we push against it and open up to being vulnerable, going through the grieving process and saying, thank you, fear, for that momentary, like I had to know that bit, whatever it is, but now I'm not going to hang on to you. And that is our work more than ever right now. It is a time for us to break open our hearts, release our heart humps, and feel the vulnerability and be in love and radiate out our love into this craziness that we're experiencing in the outer world and our own inner world, right? Because we don't know, so we don't really have anything that we can rest into. Not much anyway, except spirit, right? Except the unknown, which is where God, the universe, source, all that energy flows. It's not in the known, it's in the unknown. So allow yourself to break open your heart, to soften your heart hump. Now to come off of here, what I like to do is roll down, just push the balls all the way down into my lower back. Oh, that feels so good. And then when I'm ready, I can just come on up to sitting. And then as I sit up, I can feel what it's done, which is break me open. And as it's broken me open here and I can feel that vulnerability, I can also sense that my hump is huge. And my scapula can squeeze together as I roll my inner arms out, and my head and neck are just much more in alignment and more free. So try this week and jump into the ageless movement practices and do the heart hump, release your heart hump practice. It has helped me so much and I know that it will help you too. Thank you for being here. Bye.